Bonjour mesdames et messieurs, and welcome to the 5th episode of my weekly video game pickups. First up, yet another Facebook deal. I'll show you the games. They were all NES games, beginning with the worst one. Dragon's Lair for the NES. Pretty horrible game, almost unplayable. Well, I don't know if I'll keep this. Maybe I'll trade it up again in the future. Then Defender of the Crown. This one is playable, but it's so boring, I don't think I'll ever play it again. I used to have this game as a kid on the CDI. At least in the CDI version you have voices and good music. This version, yeah, it's just... you have to play the game for yourself to see how horrible it is. Then we'll start with the good games. Joe and Mac Caveman Ninja. This isn't the best version of the game, but still a fun game. An action arcade platformer. I think originally by Data East, but this version has been programmed by Elite. I think it's a European company. Then some Gauntlet 2, also not the best version of the game, but still very playable, and I like it, it's fun. Then Lolo 2 by Hell Laboratories, a very fun, yeah, more like a puzzle game, a bit like Sokoman actually, but more interesting and more fun. If you don't have this one, pick it up, it's great. And then finally, the game I've been waiting for, Mega Man 2. A very fun game. If you don't know this one, you're truly missing out. Let me show it to you. Okay, so let's check out some Mega Man 2. I didn't own this game as a kid, so this is actually the first time I'm playing it. Ooh. I really love the original Mega Man series. Had some of them on the Game Boy, but never on the NES. They never feel cheap. You always feel like it's your own fault that you die. Okay, this was cheap. I also love the later games like the X series on Super Nintendo and PlayStation, but they can't really beat the feel of the original game. I also bought modern classic style games on the Wii, like Mega Man 8, 9 and 10 I believe. 8 was on the PlayStation 1. So yeah, if you have the chance, check out this series. The cartridges are a bit expensive, but especially like Mega Man 1 and 2 you can find for a pretty decent price. I paid 10 euros for my cartridge. This is a really difficult part. If you don't, you are not allowed to hit the spikes. Ooh, boss fight already. Ooh. Yeah. So that's it for Mega Man 2. I hope I convinced you to buy. So fast forward to today. I did some good pickups today. Visited 3 flea markets. Let me show you the first one. First up is the Laser Color Computer 700. This baby is actually made by VTech. It's like 80s home computer, but there's a very little info about this one on the internet. It's actually not a clone of any other kind of computer, because VTech used to make Apple II clones and TRS-80 clones, but this is their original design. Sadly, that also means that I probably won't find any games for it. I've also programmed my own little program for you guys, so that you can see how it looks. This is nothing really spectacular, but this is how far my programming skills go. Voila. Return. Ta-da! My weekly video game pickups. Scrolling on the screen. Next up, some people were selling their Wii and their Wii games. They wanted to sell it as a package. I asked, can you give me a price on the game separately? And she said, which games do you want? I said, I like those two. And she said, well, you can have them both for €4. Pretty nice, no? Super Mario Galaxy 2 and Super Smash Bros. For €2 a piece. She also gave me the instruction DVD how to play Super Mario Galaxy 2. They look pretty minty, and they also have their cards still unused, so I can still use them for my Nintendo points. She had more good Wii games like Mario Kart and Pokemon Colosseum, but I decided not to buy anything I wouldn't play. And that was before she told me the price of €2 per game. Next up, I went to a different flea market. Not much to see there, only one game that I bought, Maximo, for the PlayStation 2. This is sort of a Ghouls and Ghosts sequel, but developed by the American Capcom team, the same team that developed Final Fight Streetwise. I already had Maximo versus the Army of Sin. Now I have the first one also. This one was €3. Then I went to the third and last flea market of today. There I get some more games. First up, I found a copy of Mega Man 2 for the Game Boy, complete with manual. I already own this game, so probably gonna use it as trade bait. A funny thing, now I'll show you guys. This is the American version of the game and this is the European version of the game. Find the 7 differences between the art. Especially look at his face. I'm hoping you guys will be able to see this. Next up, I got my very first PSP game. I don't own a PSP yet, but the idea has been growing in my head to buy one. I plan to pick one up in Japan the next time I go there, because I want one in a cool color. First game I got is Estonia Story. This game has a bit of special meaning to me, because in the early 2000s when the game park, the GP32, was announced, one of the cool games for it was actually Estonia Story, and I never got the GP32, nor did I ever got this game, but now I can finally play it on, well, I can play it when I finally get a PSP. Then, last but not least, I got 2 Game Boy Advance games from a reseller, but the prices were pretty good, I think. First up, Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, and also Final Fantasy Tactics. Both games were loose, but they were only €4 a piece, so I picked them up. These are also 2 games that I couldn't buy when I was a student at university, because they were too expensive new, and now I can get them cheap. So on Sunday there was another flea market really close by, so I decided to check it out. Sadly there were not many video games there, only some PlayStation 3 games and a PS1 I believe, and I saw some girls still setting up their booths, and then I saw this laying around. I opened it up and there was a Game Boy in there, classic grey one, actually classic yellow one, and some games. Bart Simpson, Escape from Camp Deadly, yet another copy of Super Mario Land 2, and Track and Field 2. I think it's 2. I don't know, it's Track and Field 1. And then the last game was Kirby's Dream Land 2. This is the game I actually bought the entire lot for. They wanted €10 for it. Normally I don't pay that much for an original Game Boy. I really wanted this game for the longest time, so now I have it. But the problem is, when I got home I saw that it's actually a bootleg and not an original cartridge. Normally this doesn't bother me, but because I really want to play the game and this cartridge doesn't save, so for me it's kinda useless, because then I have to play the game in one go. Well, you can still play it, so let's check it out. Kirby's Dream Land 2. Ah, I forgot. There was also a light bar included. These screens are always really scratched up, so also this is pretty useless, but I took it with me anyway. God knows why. Let's play some bootleg Kirby. As I told you before, I sadly can't save the game. So Kirby games are actually really easy most of the time. This one also has a special border for the Super Game Boy, as you can see. A typical Kirby game. That's it for this week. Hope you enjoyed the episode and see you guys next week.